I hear it every day from you guys. You are returning to play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes after being gone a long time. All the guides on the channel are helping, but hey, maybe there's more info we can look at. We can do kind of a retrospective on all the things you might have missed while you were away from Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. A lot of you guys were playing as kids or playing when you were in high school. You took some time off because you're like, this game doesn't fit my lifestyle. You go home, you break open COD or Battlefront, you play that for 3, 4, 5 hours because you're a kid and what do you care? But you get to college, you get a job, you get a family. You don't have 3, 4, 5 hours a day to game, but this game suits you just fine. It can be played on the toilet in the morning, at work, play at the dinner table, escape from being out to dinner, to the bathroom, to do your territory wars battles. You know you've done it. It's not my fault that you're addicted. You just are. Anyway, welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, and for those of you even that did not leave and have been here the whole time, I think you're gonna have some fun watching this little retrospective. Anyway, we're gonna watch this little retrospective of the last, I don't know, 6 or 7 years of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Well, greetings and hello there, everybody. It's me, your beloved and loved Star Wars Dad, Nooch Too Good, and welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And for those of you who've been here the whole time, thanks for staying with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We're going to take a look back at the last 6 or 7 years so that I can show you guys that are returning everything you might have missed. Did you leave in 2023 and you're coming back now? Here's everything that's happened since 2023 in the game. Did you leave during the Darth Revan debacle back in 2020? Or 2019 actually. Here's everything that's occurred since then. And for those of you who have stuck around, maybe it's just a kind of a fun little retrospective. We're gonna take a look at a lot of my videos over time, some of my early cringe videos. We're not gonna do a lot of listening, but you're gonna be cringing anyway. Let's take a look back at the last several years of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes to see everything you've been missing since you left. And let's start right here in 2024. Last year, maybe you left last year or just right before last year started. What happened in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes in 2024? Well, the first thing that happened over here, you can see very clearly what I'm going through, is all the new quests and all the big giant changes in the game from level 1 to 85. They took a process that used to take you 3 or 4 months to go through, getting to level 85, and it's been condensed into about 2.5 weeks. Some people have done it faster, they've told me. Some people took a little more time, but they've taken that entire process and sped it up for new players. And what you'll find as we go through this whole retrospective is that there's a lot of stuff, especially lately, that's been very much geared toward catching people up. So if you're a new player in Galaxy of Heroes right now, it no longer takes you 3 or 4 months to get to level 85 and get your game really going. You're gonna get there fast. You get to level 85, maybe buy yourself a hyperdrive bundle for $10. That happened this year. And boom, you are on your way in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. A couple other things that changed last year, 2024. We got a couple of new assault battles. I was getting it wrong. The Duel of the Fates assault battle and the Peridia Patrol assault battle. We honk for these all the time on this channel. We talk about them constantly. The rewards in these new assault battles are tremendous, and you only need to farm just 2 characters for the Duel of the Fates: Master Qui-Gon, Padawan, Obi-Wan, and then the three zombie soldiers for the Peridia Pals. These are great assault battles, new adds to the game. They're permanent assault battles. They're not like the new Nightfall where it's just temporary. Permanent assault battles that are really great in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Another thing that happened last year, Punishing One came in at the end of the year, added to the, I just moved myself over. You get the idea. Added to the Executrix, it completely upended the game. It made Profundity almost useless. Not very good in the game. It can't do a lot for you. Maybe beat Leviathan for you. The Punishing One upended. They had to rework Leviathan again. It is a great ship for the Executor, and that's a lot of the things that happened to us here. And I'm reading a list down here. Sorry if I keep looking. I've got a list for myself, but that's a lot of things that happened in 2024. Let's turn the clock back to 2023 in case that is when you left the game. The biggest, gigantic, most world-changing news ever happened in October 2023. Lightspeed bundles. It moved too much. Anyway, Lightspeed bundles have changed the entire landscape of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Getting these teams like Geos for $14.24. Trust me, it's $15 out there to get the entire Relic 3 Geo team, a team that would have taken you months to farm and Relic up and much more money to. Guys, Lightspeed bundles are, I think, the most impactful thing that maybe has ever happened to this game as far as like purchasing and buying your way into it and making purchasing and buying teams accessible to people that are more like the Dolphins or the Light Spenders instead of those guys spending hundreds or thousands of dollars a month, the giant whales, the Krakens. The game is now affordable for a larger scope of people, and all the roster reviews or rosters I've looked at, I think somewhere between 80 to 90% of you have at least one of these Lightspeed bundles on your roster. A couple of other big changes in 2023. Captain Rex came to the holo tables and made the Phoenix an endgame team, which was really funny, because I had spent like the 6 months in the lead up to Captain Rex's announcement telling everybody that the Phoenix were dead as a starting team, because I kept seeing people that were farming Phoenix. When we first started this game back in the day, you know, when the game first got going, Phoenix were a great starter team, but that faded quickly and they became kind of garbage, and you didn't really need Thrawn and Palpatine for much. So I just kind of threw away that, or you could get Palpatine other ways, but I threw away the Phoenix. I made several videos, don't farm the Phoenix. You can go look them up. Go look up Nooch Too Good, don't farm the Phoenix. There's 2 or 3 videos about it. And all of a sudden Captain Rex comes out and I'm eating crow because Captain Rex lifts up those Phoenix like nobody has ever lifted a team before. That was 2023. Also, the Leviathan in 2023 came out. The topper of our fleet arena, our Galactic Legend fleet, so to speak. It has not been replaced since, and yeah, it's been reworked about 27 times. Because they couldn't figure it out, which is why I think they don't release a fleet every year, because I think that it's very painful releasing fleets and spending a bunch of time reworking and having people like me complain about how they don't test their game. Anyway, we'll probably see a new fleet soon, but Leviathan is still there, and that came out in 2023. 2022 brought us a new territory battle, the Rise of the Empire territory battle, which you might be in a guild that's doing that right now. You know, we had the Geonosis territory battles for years, dark and light side, and nobody ever liked the light side Geo territory battles. They brought out the Rise of the Empire territory battles. It really is a much better design. It's also a scalable design. You'll notice they've been adding, here's the original map. This is me playing it for the first time. You don't see Zepho up there. You don't see Mandalore up there. There have been a lot of planets added, and there'll be more planets added over time. So they created this new Rise of the Empire territory battles, and they made it scalable to the game so they could add stuff as they go rather than having to design a new territory battle. And that happened in 2022. You want to get those Reva shards with those Inquisitors. That is in Rise of the Empire territory battles. Also in 2022, Jabba the Hutt came out, and the reason I tell everybody to farm Jabba the Hutt as their first Galactic Legend is Smuggler's Run 2. The mod materials you get from that, I talk about this all the time, is a gigantic return on investment for Jabba the Hutt for all the mod materials you get from Smuggler's Run 2 by farming Jabba the Hutt. I love that guy. The other big thing in 2022 was Proving Grounds, which was kind of an offshoot of what happened in 2021. Because in 2021, and up there is Cringe Nooch, I can't tell you what's up with the color of my face. The minifigure Kylo is kind of cool. I was doing some Lego stuff. I got a sweater on Han Solo. If I turn the volume on here, you would be like blown away. Cringe Nooch. Anyway, it was happening in 2021. But I talked about Proving Grounds. Here's me playing Conquest for the first time in 2021. It was a new game mode at the time, a new game mode designed primarily as a way to release new characters. Release, what do we got? 4 new characters a year, right? 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on. Yeah, 4 new characters a year released through Conquest. And then in 2022, after that, Proving Grounds came out a year later, so that we found that after a new character had been in Conquest for a year, they got released in Proving Grounds. That started happening in 2021 is when Conquest came out. Also in 2021, crystals were removed from Squad Arena magically. We'd all been living with Squad Arena having crystals in there. That's where our daily crystals were located. So you had to farm the one meta team that kept you going in 2022. The best team. There were a few Galactic Legends out at the time, and those Galactic Legends were the only ones that could climb in that Squad Arena. That was the only way to get your daily crystals. I think they had some crystals in Fleet Arena at the time. That was kind of newish, but those crystals came out of Squad Arena in 22 and went over to Grand Arena, and Grand Arena was reworked into the cluster that it is today. You and I have talked about it. those of us who played the original Grand Arena, we love the setup. You go in against a group of players that are all at your similar galactic power. You play King of the Hill. You try to rise above people with similar rosters. You prove your mettle. We love it because we can play against those equal rosters. Capital Games hated it because I think when they gave their numbers, it probably showed that it suppressed revenue because people were actually holding their rosters back. It encouraged us all not to add galactic power to our roster, to keep yourself as low as possible so you can perform as high as possible instead of investing in the game. Do I think that still applies today? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't think they're going to go back that route again. We're kind of stuck with what we got. And am I like not at the bottom of the screen over here? There's a little green. I'm going to have to fix that. I'm not going to fix it right now. I'll fix it after. I didn't know there was room below me here. That is sloppy content creation. I'm going to fix it actually right now. Hold on a second. Hold on. Okay, we got that fixed. Also in 2021, along with Conquest, the Grand Arena rework, Crystals out of Squad Arena, we got the Executor. Our first... I don't know. It's not a great way to put it. But, oh, by the way, look at the graphics over there in 2021. The graphics in this game have like shot through the moon. It's so much better than it used to be. Not close. It's not a contest. They're way, way better now. Okay. The Executor came out in 2021. The first Galactic Legend ship in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The Executor has been a stalwart ever since. It's the first capital ship everybody should farm. And I still believe right now that it is the first big farm everyone should do because those crystals not only moved to Grand Arena, you know it, they also moved over to Fleet Arena. You gotta climb the Fleet Arena every day to get your crystals, and the Executor is a gigantic piece of that, and that came out in 2021. 2020 brought us two big changes in the game. The first one was we got our first two Galactic Legends. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren and Galactic Legend Rey came out in 2020. We were all sitting at home in the pandemic, not going to places of work, not going to restaurants, wearing our masks and masks. We might have worn masks. Type masks down in the comments if you made it to this point of the video. We were all, and by the way, I'm filming this content for me is after 2020 because you saw more Galactic Legends. So this is not me in 2020. I don't even know if I was really covering the game very well, or in fact, I didn't start covering the game till like later in 2020 at the end of the year. But I did start doing YouTube at the beginning with other games. So, and I had played the game, by the way, I played the game all the way since the beginning, took a big break, I thought I'd quit the game forever, came back, and the rest is herstory, as they might say. 2020, Galactic Legend Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, Galactic Legend Rey. I thought this was going to be me playing through the event. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. Jeez, I don't know all that stuff. Came to the game. Also in 2020, a gigantic change later in the year, double drops, double shards. The entire roster of Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, you guys know that when you farm a character that's older than a year old, you get 2 shards every time instead of 1 shard, or double the amount of shards every time you farm them. That happened in 2020 at the end of the year. So it's a big deal. It changes the way we look at farming. It changes the way we think about farming. And when we look at early game farming, we always want to try to be farming those double shard characters as much as possible because the single shard characters just take much more time and invest a lot more resources and really take away, and they're more difficult to get a hold of. That was 2020 in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. The last year we're going to go back to in this video is 2019. Now, this is not me filming in 2019. This is me filming a couple months ago. But I'm doing the Darth Malak event. 2019 saw Darth Revan and Darth Malak come to the game, and it's entirely possible that you as a player left the game during this debacle, I guess. We talked about Squad Arena at the time. Daily Crystals are only available in Squad Arena. Jedi Knight Revan came out in December, and I might have these a little bit off, but it's pretty darn close. Jedi Knight Revan came out in December 2018. Darth Revan, so that was the arena team you had to have for like 3 or 4 months. Then Darth Revan came out in March, and then Darth Malak came behind him in April. Each one of those was digging into people's wallets like nobody's business. And a lot of people just quit the game. They're like, I've had it. I gotta go in Squad Arena for this. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of playing with these Revens forever. The Reven meta lasted a year. It lasted forever. Gas came out later that year, and so a lot of you guys left. A lot of you guys come back now. It's a completely different game now, much more balanced, I guess, with the crystal distribution and not requiring you to get every single brand new character. There's no like one meta team in the game now other than in fleets, and even there's some flexibility, but we got to get a lot of teams on the roster now. The other thing that happened in 2019 was with the introduction of Darth Revan and Darth Malak, Kyratex came to the game. That was a new gear piece that had not existed before then. It added to the Carbantes and stun guns and cuffs, all the gear we had to have before that. Now we were adding Kyratex. It was maybe 200 or 300 per character, occasionally 400, and that just got ramped up. Now it's 400 for every single character and the occasional 500, and Galactic Legends usually need 700 Kyratech. That all started in 2019. If you ducked out of the game in 2019-ish, you may not have realized all that, but this is where it's all started. I'm not going to go back any further. The only thing I'll mention is in 2018, Grand Arena, the original form of it came out. That's when that was introduced. So, welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I hope this retrospective maybe takes you back to where you quit the game. Tell me in comments, when did you quit and why? Was it due to things going on in the game? Was it due to things going on in your life? Was it just not fitting your lifestyle at the time? Were you that person? You were a kid, you wanted to play more COD and Battlefront, you had a lot of time for that. Now that you're grown, you don't have a lot of time for that. You gotta find a game because you like gaming, much like your Star Wars dad, and this is a game that fits your lifestyle a little better. There you go, boys and girls. Welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. I'm done with this retrospective. Let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon. Always remember, Nooch too good.